That was weird. Guys, how is everybody doing? I reviewed the three original 1990 versions of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so now it's in the new era. And now I gotta talk about some 2007 animated movie. Some of my positives on TMNT 2007 is I think this cast is pretty decent. You got Chris Evans as Casey Jones. You got what's that one girl that played Buffy? Sarah Michelle Gellar as April O'Neil. You got Patrick Stewart in here, and there's probably another one I'm thinking of, but yeah, those are really the standout of this movie. They're very good in this movie. Chris Evans is always good in a movie that he's in, which his career has been overtaken by Captain America, but he has gone and done other great movies. And I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. My mom is a huge Buffy fanatic. That's one of her favorite TV shows, if not her favorite TV show. And she got me hooked on it when I was younger, and I still kind of watch it sometimes here and there. I don't care what anybody says. It's still a good show. I don't spoil the show for me, assholes. If you do, I'll punch you, I guess. I don't know how it ends. But this cast is pretty good. They always, well, usually when it comes to a cast, they always do good. Always blab about a cast, but really this cast was really good. And I didn't even know Patrick Stewart was in this movie at first, but the second I heard like the villain's voice, I was like, oh, that kind of sounds like Patrick Stewart. And then when I looked it up, I was like, oh, it is Patrick Stewart. It's kind of plainly obvious. Positive is that I really like how this movie does like a whole thing where how like the team kind of like split up. Now I will say this, when I first watched this movie, I thought that was a horrible idea. I hated that idea and I thought that was so stupid that I was like, well, if you're just gonna split the turtles up, maybe just don't make the movie at all. But I do like the thing where Leo is kind of like shipped off to like a different land to be trained to be a better leader because Splinter sent him out there and apparently he wasn't doing great as a leader. So he was sent out there and he was kind of trained to be a better leader. It's a little stupid, but I do enjoy it for what that is. And and there's like a thing where Michelangelo, he puts on like a fake turtle head and goes to birthday parties, kind of like cosplaying as like a party clown in a way. That's kind of stupid. But that's interesting, but it's kind of stupid and only there for 3-year-olds. And then Donatello uses his smarts as like a computer whiz where he does like a telemarketer thing where people will call him like issues with their computer. We all know how that turns out. And then he's just sitting there like, I'm not your buddy. I'm just here to help you out. Generic. And then Raphael, who is my favorite of this movie, is where he is a vigilante. Where since the whole group split up, and they're no longer a team for a while, but Raphael doesn't want to give up the vigilante crime fighting life, so he dresses up as a vigilante. He wears all metal, and he calls himself the Night Watcher. The costume, it doesn't look great. Mm. But with a few touches here and there, it could have looked a little better. And I do like the whole Night Watcher thing going on here. It kind of like Batman. I like Batman. I think it also has to do with the Night Watcher thing, and that is the Leonardo and Raphael fight in this movie. That's easily the best part about this movie, and really probably the only reason I'd be excited to ever rewatch this movie. Where Leonardo comes back, he knows about the Night Watcher, he knows what it is, and so what he decides to do is that when he comes back, he's like, I have to put an end to the Night Watcher. And so when Raphael goes out one night and he sees him, and he's just like, oh crap. And then that's something wrong. And those two kind of like have like a battle where those two fight, and then Leonardo doesn't hold back at first, but the second he knocks off his helmet, it shows that it is, in fact, Raphael, his own brother. And then when he notices him, he's like, you need to stop this. You can't do this. And then he's like, I'm done taking orders. And then what I like about that scene is that Leonardo wasn't holding back when he was first fighting him because he didn't know it was his brother. And then the second time that they fight, when it's just Raphael and Leo holds back because that's his brother and he doesn't want to fight him, but then he has no choice and then he breaks his swords. And that's a very cool, like a really cool scene, and it's a very beautifully animated, by the way. But I'll get to that soon. And that's a very good animated sequence. It's a very cool action sequence. It's a great fight sequence. That's that's by far the best part about this movie, and probably the only reason I would ever rewatch this movie. On to my mixed aspects, and that's the animation. Now, I put it in my mixed aspects because I appreciate the animation for its time and what it tried to do, and because of that awesome fight sequence between Leonardo and Raphael. But compared to other animation films like I don't know, Across the Spider-Verse, let's talk about. And this type of animation, I respect it for its time because I imagine when this first came out, this was life changing and it was awesome. But when you got films like Across the Spider Verse, this is the type of animation that you would just buy at the dollar store at this time. At this point, this is like a dollar store version of the animation for its time. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It's not great, and it's probably one of my main criticisms because this movie, it doesn't look very great at the times because of just the character designs of the film. It doesn't look great. It could have used some touches here and there. But again, the animation is just something I more appreciate more than I like to look at and to enjoy. That's my negatives, and I really only have one criticism, and that's the villain of this movie. Well, if you can even call him a villain, I don't even remember the fuck his name is, and that's like the Patrick Stewart guy. He's like a villain, and he's like resurrecting these like weird like machine things. Again, another Ninja Turtles movie where the villains in this movie aren't from the TV series or comic books. Definitely learned their lesson, didn't they? I don't even think this character is very cool. He's not interesting. He's not intimidating. And then he resurrects these like machine, like monster things. It's like I don't know what these are. And he wants them to go back in time to fix things. I don't know. It's a generic villain. Really, he's not interesting. He's not intimidating, and it's not a Turtles villain. I don't find the villain interesting if it's not a Turtles villain. I'm sorry. Well, guys, there's not much really to talk about this movie, but this movie's okay. I don't hate this movie, but I don't love it, but I also don't hate it. It's a fine movie. If you want to watch a Ninja Turtles movie, this movie's for you. So just go ahead and stream it. You guys think about TMNT 2007? Have you seen this movie? What did you think about it? Did you love this movie? Did you not like this movie? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. And if you like this video, like it. And if you love to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you will get notified for my latest videos. But, of course, until my next video, see you next time.